And I'm live. I usually wait a few, let some people get in there before I start yapping. Look at that. 25 seconds to get somebody in there. All right, we got one. And we wait. Bless you. Nothing Padre. It's Philly. Espiritu Sancti. You were a Catholic schoolgirl, man. You know what that means. Catholic Jew. I don't get it.
Because I'm half Jewish and half Catholic.
Half Jewish and half Catholic.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hi. I'm Uncle Birch, and welcome into my world. Here, where I do most of my stuff, where I record my classes, where me and Marta do our various podcasts, where I do my videos for YouTube. So where we spend a lot of our time above the roar of the city. You'll hear the roar. You hear the roar? Yeah, I like the roar. It's energy. It's all energy. You can use it. Good afternoon, Lisa. Somebody else said hi. Hi. I missed who it was. Wait till we get a few more people in here before I really start the show. But if you know how to play, you can go ahead and start playing. It's almost like a game show. Will you get your question answered? Or will Birch miss your question? I'm Uncle Birch. You probably know that because you're on my channel. I teach witchcraft for a living. I currently now have 4 year-in-a-day courses going at the same time. There's still a couple more days to get into the November 1st class. It's still open. I still have some slots. So I started on this teaching frenzy this last year. I had gone away from my year-in-a-day classes and taught them for a couple years, preferring the more downloadable type of classes. And people were still chomping at the bit for the year-in-a-day courses, so I started doing them again. And then now I've got 4 classes going right now, so I do this whole thing. What time is it there now? 1:40 p.m. Daylight savings time just kicked in. Hello, Tyrone. Hello, Teresa. Lisa already said hello. So I do this thing as a community service. I see so much bad witchcraft teaching in the world. And people don't really want to know. Being fed bullshit on the internet. So I try and do this kind of thing. I do it on my channel, which, you know, you're already on my channel, so you're probably well educated anyways. But maybe you're new to my channel. I don't know. Maybe you haven't seen all my videos. If you had, you would know a lot of this stuff already. You would probably be better off than half of the witches out there. But I do this thing to keep my teaching muscles strong, and as a community service, a little thing we call Ask Uncle Birch. You can ask me almost any question about any kind of magic, and I probably have something to say about it. Try not to be too long-winded. It's a good idea to copy a question so you can paste it after I miss it, because once it gets flowing, man, there'll be a lot of questions in there, and I might just miss some. So have at it if you got some. Wow, Sunday afternoon, kind of slow. Hello, Kimchi. Kimchi. You love kimchi. Yeah.
I need to make some.
You need to make some.
Okay,
Cabbage. Nowadays, Whole Foods is cheaper than Gelson's.
Okay.
Yeah. Since the Amazon come over, the prices went down. Let's see.
I really want a Burbank.
Yeah. And stuff. Let's see. Yes, since I'm Korean, I named myself after a Korean dish. Marta likes that Korean food. There's 3 tips for those practicing baneful magic. Uh, yeah, let it all go. If you gotta go, let it all go. If you're gonna hold back at all, if you're gonna feel remorse or a feeling of guilt, don't throw. Don't throw until you like if you were Ishmael in Moby Dick, where if your heart could be a cannon, you would fire it upon that white whale, firing your entire life upon it to get your vengeance. If you can't reach that stage, don't throw. Or one. Two, cleansing. There's plenty of other traditions out there that are not Wicca, that don't have any rules against hexing or anything of the kind. And they'll do it all day, every day. A lot of those traditions have a cleansing ritual that happens right after they throw. Cleansing, pouring stuff on their head, cleansing their environment, cleansing the entire space after they throw. So you throw and you cleanse. These kinds of things will stop backlash, and a blowback, whatever you got. Wow, I really got some fluctuating numbers going on here. I don't know if it's my connection or what. But let's see. So let's start. 1, 2, 3. You got to really wrap your head around why you're doing it. For me, it's the kids. If somebody's attacking me, the kids are in danger. So I have to think of the kids. And that will make me able to throw with great veracity every time. Think in different terms. It's like, what is your enemy threatening if they're attacking you? And that'll help you, fulfill my first recommendation. Let's see. Do you feel people's energy? If so, can you tell me what energy or vibes you feel from me? Sorry, random but curious. Not really over the internet. Like maybe if I was doing a reading for you, we're sitting on Skype, I'd feel your energy there, but just a random person in the window. Sometimes people ask me things and I'll get an answer from somewhere else. But every time I light a lucky candle, terrible things happen. Why? I have a video here on this channel. I have videos covering most things, but it's really weird. I got all you people in here, but it's just telling me I have one person watching. I don't understand. All right, so apparently we got a full house, but their count is off. The video is sometimes, it gets worse before it gets better. Quite often, with a lot of spells where we're removing things, adding things, it will get worse. You'll get less lucky. That doesn't mean that the spell backfired. Unless, it's 3 months old or something like that. It didn't yet backfire. Don't panic. You make an action and you look for a reaction. Sometimes the reaction may not be the exact action you were looking for, but the fact that we got a reaction shows that we had effect on that thing. Now we need to let it play out, and hopefully it's going to work out the way we planned on it. So at first, a lot of things like curse removals and cleansing and that kind of stuff. Hey, Spirit Witch, those things blow up in your face. Trying to resolve things between in relationships can cause a huge explosion, a huge fight right after you do the spell. But that fight was necessary to get out of the way before you can get to healing. So sometimes, you may not understand what it's going to take for nature to get you to where you need to get with your spell. And sometimes she might need to blow up a few things to get you there. You could rack your head for the rest of your life trying to figure out the wisdom of nature, but she's perfect. She's perfect, and her wisdom is way beyond us. Your spell is probably working. Let's see. I've been giving water offerings to the planets when they would go retrograde. Yeah, It's a good idea. Don't get all worked up about this Mercury retrograde thing, though. People get so freaked out. The planet's closer to the sun, has a shorter orbit. As such, we pass by it frequently. Same thing with Venus. Venus is closer to the sun, has a shorter orbit, so we pass by it. When we pass by it, it looks like it's going backwards. It's not. We're passing it. That's all that's happening. There is some weird effects from Mercury retrograde. It does happen. But people get so wigged out of Mercury retrograde, they blame it for all things now. Mercury affects communication and travel. Period. Business. Okay, period. Mercury affects business, travel, and communications. Period. Those things can go haywire. Some weird things can happen during Mercury retrograde, but it's not a reason not to do business, not a reason not to communicate. You need to overcompensate. Or you need to poke around and look for Uncle Birch's Mercury retrograde sigil, the triangular sail sigil. I think I have it posted on Uncle Birch on my Facebook page. It's way back on my Michael Carell page. I think I have it posted on Unity of Wicca and Witchcraft. I've got it posted a whole bunch of places. Should probably post it on YouTube. It's a very handy little sigil that I made. A witch honors the planetary movements not to hold us back, but for use in propulsion, to propel ourselves, our spells. A witch takes the reins, not the ride. We are not whipped around by every random planetary movement. We're learning about these planetary movements so we can take the reins, not the ride. Be some scared little critter every time something goes retrograde. Neptune's going to be retrograde like that's 2025. We're going to freak out about that? I mean, it's been retrograde for, I think, a decade now. People still freaking out at Neptune being fucking retrograde? Just calm down. Don't be a fanatic. Let's see. Doesn't worrying about retrogrades create servitors to work against you? I don't know about servitors, but definitely thought forms. Yeah, thinking about it, worrying about it, freaking out about it, being paranoid about it causes the thing to happen. I always remember my first acid trip, my guide said to me, don't get paranoid about being paranoid. That wisdom for the rest of my life, I still use that fucking thing. I gave up acid a long time ago. Let's see. The greater key has colors you can assign to each planet, as well as Mercury, purple, or blue. Yes, a lot of the old grimoires are that way. My Book of Shadows, the first couple pages are writing down all the planetary days, planetary times, those kind of things. Correspondence, the law of correspondence is universal in all magic. We need to know the correspondences of the things that we're doing here. All right, so, keep the questions flowing, because I'm only seeing one viewer. We're totally fucking up. If I thought there was only one viewer here, man, I'd leave and go, do this somewhere else where there's more fucking viewers. But there's a bunch of you in here. It's not registering for some fucking reason. Have you ever tried flying on your broom with your magic sword? No. My kid just asked me about that. Witches didn't fly on fucking brooms, okay? There was some ancient crop magic where people would, they take whatever their tool was, whether it was a rake, a broom, a shovel, whatever you had. They went down to the crops and jumped as high as they could, riding these things like a hobby horse. It was a crop magic.
Yeah, I ride a shovel.
Yeah, she rides a shovel. Trying to show the crops how high to grow. The depiction of this ritual in some art made people believe that witches were flying. Now, there were some rituals where witches anointed the brooms with flying ointment, and since they happened to be naked, riding upon these things, flying ointment got into their body cavities, and they astral projected, for lack of a better word. So, yeah. Let's see. Laura said, greetings and salutations, Birch and Marta. Do you target specific chakras when you throw? That's an excellent idea. Yes. Yes, you can. You know, you want to affect their spirituality, their mental state, their emotional state. Yeah, their money. Yeah, intact their chakras. Absolutely. Have that chakra depicted upon a doll that you're going to work magic on. Work that chakra. Great question. So far, we're doing Ask Uncle Birch. You can ask questions about all kinds of magic. I tend to have something to say.
Are you a top or a bottom?
Am I a top or a bottom? She gets to ask questions too. I try to be diplomatic about these things. You know,
Good answer.
there's a time for either or and all of the above. There's time to do both. Quite often both. You know, the bottom is just to,
Warmed up.
get warmed up, but the bottom is a place, a way to control the orgasm. I learned that in sex magic. Boys, if you can control your pelvic thrust, that is the main thing that causes orgasm. So that's a good reason to be on the bottom, especially if you're doing sigil magic. You got sigils on the ceiling and stuff like that. I found, there's times, you're going to be thrusting, on the bottom, but there's times you could just, hold still, let your partner do the work, and I can go for fucking hours doing that kind of thing. Long as she could stand being on top, we keep going. Woman, when we're doing sex magic, a woman can come over and over and over again, and she's throwing all, and then have to take a little break. Maybe, on a good day, maybe you don't have to take a little break, but all of that energy goes in the cum. All of that drive, all of that force, all of that love, it's suddenly gone. It may be weird on the other end of that thing. Yeah. Well, no, this is my channel.
Oh,
I can say whatever the fuck I want on my channel. No. I can say whatever the fuck I want on my channel. But boy, I just gave you some gold. Try that shit. If you get, stop the pelvic thrust when you're close to orgasm, and you can go longer. And for men, the more time we stop orgasm and focus that energy on that sigil, the more juju we're going to give that sigil. Eventually, we're going to need to come, and we're going to again look at that sigil, throw it all fucking in there. So that was just a question over here from stage left. That led us down that dark path there from my emotional support clown Marta. Giving lessons on beef relief. That was good, Tyrone. Is it possible to cage the human soul or to transfer your sin to another body? I don't really believe that. I don't think you can cage a person's soul. There is something left behind in the spiritual capacity, but it's not the soul. The soul, science now shows, leaves the body after death, flies into the universe, and joins with the whole of the energies of the universe. That's what science says now. Soul can't be destroyed. Energy can't be destroyed. I do not believe that you can take possession or cage a person's soul. There are spirits that can be caught, but then that's kind of where I'm leading to. I think there's some differences. I don't think that the soul is in the thing that we call the spirit. The part that's left behind, the ghost, if you will. I don't think that's the soul. There's something about a person's imprint on this plane that is left behind, energies from that imprint, that is something we would call a ghost or a spirit. It is not the person's soul. I don't believe that souls can get trapped here or any of that kind of stuff. Spirits can get trapped here. Souls are a larger picture. Transferring sin, I don't know. I was just trying to get more sin. When remotely cleansing something like a family or something, do you need to invoke? How does that work? Not necessarily. Invoking would be calling other spirits to your aid, other gods, that kind of thing. You may be just doing that as an energetic work. Uh, I would tend to have a picture of that person or those persons and be working on it, actually right out here, right over there, actually. Sometimes over here. But yeah, doesn't necessarily require invoking or calling upon higher powers. A lot of times it doesn't, because if I'm gonna call my gods up to get a service for somebody that they don't know, or that's never worked with them, that has never offered them an offering, that they have no rapport with, then I'm just milking my rapport with my gods to get things done, and I don't know if that's going to work. So, since I signed up for your class, I've been noticing this new spirit around, but I'm unable to communicate. I just see him when I'm alone. Is this normal? Yeah. Your class, I haven't even, put out the first class yet. I think it's going to be tomorrow. I think tomorrow, yeah, the first class comes out tomorrow. In the early stages, there's spiritual teachers that you have, and they spend their time up in here, and they're trying to teach you all the time, through your dreams, through all, other things, different than spiritual guides, spiritual teachers. And when a person takes the formal step to formally study witchcraft, like in this day and age, signing up and handing over your credit card to a server online, well, that's the sign to the universe. Your spiritual teachers see you do that, and they try and meet you halfway. And we talk about that in the beginning of the class. You will start to be contacted by different spiritual teachers that you have not met before. They've been waiting to help you along this path, and they will teach you in your sleep. They will teach you in your dreams. There's a thing called wisdom school. It tends to happen before midnight. So sometimes a witch needs to get to sleep before midnight, or you have to cram for the finals. You wake up with your head kind of wanting to explode in the morning because they tried to cram too much information into your head in such a short span of time. So occasionally the witch needs to get to sleep before midnight. Set a couple days a week or something where you can try and pull that off. Not that hard for me because I got to get up every morning and take my kid to school. So yeah, getting to sleep before midnight sounds great. But they will come. They will come, and they will switch off. Sometimes there'll be a shift change of sorts. You'll be done with one spiritual teacher. It'll be time for another one to take over for part of your spiritual path. Now, usually that happens later after you've come to know your spiritual teachers. So those spiritual teachers will usually do a form of introduction to the new teacher before they leave. Or at least that's the way it tend to happen. But so yeah, spirit witch, that's pretty common. There's just something about taking a formal step to study, even before you start actually studying. That formal step is seen by the other world. Shit starts to happen. Good stuff. Good stuff. Sometimes some challenging stuff too. But that's the path. I have many teachers now. Awake, asleep, heck, they're always here. They even bring their pets. Hey, you're using a new pipe from Freedom Lampworks. I was just about to check and see if this bowl's loaded.
What are we doing?
What are we doing? What?
We're not loading bowls.
Well, I know. They reminded me who that was. Well, yay, Locked Flame. I want to definitely thank the people at Freedom Lampworks. One of my students, actually, is a pipe maker, and watched some of our videos and noticed how often we kept having to poke our pipe, clean the pipe. It kept getting clogged. Yeah, we had to keep poking our pipe, and stop. Oh, Jesus Christ, what the fuck? I'm poking the pipe. Oh, fuck. He noticed that, and so he sent me a message offering to let me pick a pipe out from his Etsy shop and send it to us for free. Here's the pipe. As you can see, it's getting color. It's got a lot of use. A couple weeks old. I tend to, use up a glass pipe and throw it out. I don't know. There's probably a way to clean it, but it's gnarly. I boiled it in a pot, and we could never use that pot again.
I'm sure it was my pot.
Yeah, I'm sure it was Mark's pot. No, it wasn't. It was Pot at the Grove.
Okay.
But so yeah, Freedom Lampworks on Etsy. Go look them up. You need a new pipe. They got these really cool like devil horn ones. It looked like the bowl was smaller than I wanted. I wanted a big bowl. I like big bowls. I cannot lie. But Freedom Lampworks, man. Yeah, they make cool shit, and they're witches. I don't know. I don't want to be smoking pot while teaching witchcraft and stuff like this. I want my pipe to be made by witches, and especially by my own students. Tips on your resin pipes. Okay. All right, I'll send them to you. We tend to just smoke them till you can't poke them anymore. You heard to say that. It'll be a while. This one's still pretty fresh, but yes. Freedom Lampworks on Etsy. That was good. I forgot when we were even smoking one of the local California weeds, but I forget which one. Yeah, baby. You gonna say yeah, baby about that one? All right. I'm Uncle Birch. We're doing Ask Uncle Birch. I have no clue how many people are in here, because the count definitely does not reflect the people that I'm seeing actually chatting. So I just don't know how that's working. But you can ask almost any question about any kind of magic, witchcraft, folk magic, even if it's not a tradition that I practice. I probably have something to say about it. I probably heard something about it. I often will say something about it, and then I will go check later. I will go Google, double check what I said. And most times I was right. So I have this thing about magic. I absorb magic like nothing else, and I never forget a magic. My husband rinses his rubbing alcohol, then boils them in a designated pot. I'll smack him if he uses mine. Yeah, I think I've heard that. I think I heard that. About calling the elements in the quarters. Are we supposed to elements in the quarters? Are we supposed to eventually graduate to simply invoking them instead? Not really. I mean, okay, so you're talking about the elements. So really, if we're talking about the elements, we're actually talking about the elements and the elementals. The elementals and the elements are something we evoke. We place them where they're supposed to go. They are an ethereal being, and we give them respect. We're polite, but we tell them, said, air, we're going to the east. Fire, we're going to the south. West, all the way around. We tell them where to be, and we tell them when to leave. We don't tell gods and goddesses and spirits where to be and when to leave. We ask them nicely to show up, and we ask them nicely, if you want to leave, go ahead and leave. And this happens, in Wicca and everything else too. But evoke is we're pulling out these forces from us. We have control over these forces. We don't, just allow the sink to overflow. We don't allow the fire to be wherever it wants to be in our house. We have a force. We place them there. We're evoking. Now, when we're calling the Watchers, that's more of an invoking. The Watchers tend to be coming from elsewhere. They tend to come when called and leave when they're bored. Now, we're doing the archangels, which a lot of people are doing with their lesser banishing ritual, the pentagram. Technically, we're invoking them. Those are higher powers. We're invoking. We're calling them to move through us and through the circle. The elements and elementals are at the border of the circle. So depending on which type of circle you're doing, there may be elements of evoking and invoking. But we need to understand the difference. Evoking is kind of pulling something out of ourselves or out of a space or out of the ether, and invoking is kind of calling something from another realm, a higher realm. So a god, a goddess, a spirit, archangels, these kinds of things. Hopefully that made sense. Hello, Emerald City Mystic. I thought you were already here. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. Well, hello. So we're doing Ask Uncle Birch, and YouTube has screwed up their counter somehow. I can't see how many people are in here. I'm actually going to pop up YouTube, my browser back here. Don't make me sign it. 27 people right now. Oh, okay, thank you. See, yeah, I see 2. I see 2. And yeah, clearly there's more people in here because everybody's firing off all these questions. Yeah, 27. All right, thank you. That'll save me some bandwidth, I guess. And that was weird. Operation locked. I knocked my phone down. The moon's up. How's it? Old broadcaster didn't knock down my damn phone. Now I just keep knocking it down. All because of the moon. Should we prepare to alter self-image as much as possible or try to hold on? Prepare to alter self-image as much as possible or try to hold on to older ones and heal them. I take a more clinical aspect to that. I believe in reprogramming rather than healing emotional states or psychological states. Reprogramming them. The only reason you have any of those are because they were programmed into you. When you feel less than others, when you feel less adequate or socially inept, these are programs put into you by your parents, by bullies in school, by the television. We grew up watching things like the Brady Bunch. And subliminally, the Brady Bunch was showing us how normal people lived. Yet nobody lived like that. Nobody had a family like that. But everybody was kind of led to believe that that's the people we're seeing on TV, those are normal families, and we should try and be like them. And until we can be like them, we are less than somehow. Even the commercials, the TV shows, everything we watch, these negative parts of ourselves have been programmed into us. We just need to change the program. Overwrite the damn thing or delete it and make a new program. And 101. What in tarnation is going on over there? Well, I got my phone's very precariously standing up, leaning against something, and there's wires everywhere. I keep bumping the wires. So let's see. Uncle B in chat. Hello. Hello, Love Mofro. Hello, Rock Flame. Please explain again. Cleansing, grounding, stirring, so I can make sure I'm doing this right. Grounding and centering is the ritual that most people have come across where they visualize roots going out of their feet, stretching down through the earth, attaching themselves to the earth. Grounding. We ground to the earth, Sometimes it's going to be for drawing up energy at the end of the ritual, for bleeding off the excess energy so we don't feel all overwhelmed and fucked up afterwards. That's grounding. Centering is, once we've done that, there's a visualization process where we straighten our spine and see like a pole going down the back of our spine straight down to the earth. That's centering. And you've probably run across meditations where you're doing that. Most people have some of the most common rituals in all of Wicca and witchcraft. They're just not overtly explained as to what we're doing and what that is and why we're doing that. Those are the basics. Cleansing typically is going to be salt and water, fire and air. Salt and water, most people tend to be using a ritual for making their blessed salt water that is actually the ritual that the Catholic Church uses to make holy water. If you find yourself in your tradition saying things like creature of water, creature of salt, we are now borrowing from Solomon. And Solomon is where the Catholics borrow their holy water ritual from. So typically the three pinches of salt in a glass of water, certain prayers are said over the water. A lot of times we're drawing energy up through our roots and throwing that light either through our fingers or through one of our chakras onto that water to charge that water, and then we sprinkle it around like holy water. For cleansing, typically counterclockwise around the room. For like a circle, we tend to just do the altar and then the exterior of the circle. For a house, we want to get it all over the house and a ring around the house. Then fire and air is, the fire is the coals, the air is the smoke. Incense, basically. We want to, again, counterclockwise through the house, starting in the center, working our way outwards, getting in every object, every closet, every box, every cupboard, every new house. You're going to have to do it again once you move in the house, but get a really good cleansing. You're going to want to do it before all your boxes are in the fucking house. So counterclockwise around the room, leaving a door or window open. Sage is not the thing to use for that. Okay? You're on my channel. You probably know that. I forget. I'm not on the new page. White sage is not for cleansing. Don't do it. Don't do a smudge stick. Do frankincense or copal or rosemary or something else. I saw a few other questions, so let's see. When you root down to the earth and drop the white energy up, is this the energy you actually throw? Yeah, that is one of the energies. I mean, that's the most common energy drawn up in Wicca and witchcraft. We might be doing a thing where we're drawing it down from a planetary force, from a god force, from the moon, through our crown chakra. Same kind of thing, but we're probably going to have the roots attached to the earth too. That's still the grounding process, but we may be drawing the energy from another force. Typically, all of these energies are seen as white light. This is something that really just fucked up the New Age movement and fucked up everybody else. Everybody got all about white light. The reason it's white light is because it's nothing. Racism will say it's pure. It's not pure, it's nothing. It has nothing, it's just raw energy that the earth and other forces use to create all the things. When it comes out our fingers, when it comes out our blade, when it comes out our chakras, then it'll have a color appropriate for what we're doing. So even if we're throwing, it might be black or red at this point. But when it comes out of us, we give it color, we give it direction, but the stuff that we want to pull into us is just raw energy. Nothing to it. We get to make stuff out of it. Or be lazy like me and just borrow your holy water from the Catholic Church down the street. Yeah, I remember when we were in New Orleans, the last time I saw one of my students that we met up there, pretty old school, that's actually in Mastering Witchcraft, stealing it from the church. And I'm down with that. They stole enough from us. We should get ours. Do we go over some of these meditations in class? By the way, I mostly want to throw good vibes at people. Yeah, absolutely we go over that in class. And that's cool. You know, I don't want my students to want to hurt people and throw on people, but they need to know how. And you need to not be delusional and think that this is a world of peace and love. It is not. Neither is witchcraft. And especially with the internet. There are trolls out here with witchcraft. Just like all the other trolls, except they have magic too. There are people that will hex you just to see if they can, and monitor your Facebook page to see if it worked. People can be dicks. So, you know, you will learn those techniques in my class, and it's my hope that you will never have to use them. But when it comes time that you do have to use them, you should already know them. You shouldn't have to catch up at that time and play catch up when the war is on. I grew up a Christian. We used to pray over our food and ask Jesus to bless our food. How would our ancestors bless food before Christ? Yeah, they all blessed their food. They all offered their food before the gods, gave a portion of their food, and thanked their gods for the harvest. All things were pagan once. All of these ideas that you have seen in the religions you grew up in were pagan. Just so happened that people that took those ideas tried to kill off the pagans. It is what it is. But the traditions are not necessarily bad. You know, like Thanksgiving's coming up. Pagans have several Thanksgivings, and that's never a bad thing. You know, people are always like, well, how do you feel about Thanksgiving? It's like thanking your gods for your harvest. How am I ever going to say anything wrong about that? How's that going to be a bad thing? How? Oh my God. Can't believe I have the fountain in the shot and I didn't turn it on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Slappy.
Hey, stagehands.
Your stagehand.
Oh, dear, dear, dear.
You're so easily distracted. I love toying.
Yes, you do. All right, no recent questions. We're doing Ask Uncle Birch. We're having a fabulous time. A great crowd. I do this thing all over the place. You know, just different strokes for different folks. Like sometimes I go on these total new witch channels. Usually the same questions every time. So I'm, you know, prepared to answer. I have canned answers for a lot of that stuff. But come over to my channel. It's like it's a mix. You know, we got some new questions, intermediate, and some advanced shit. Which, you know, I need that. Not all of my students are total noobs. I need to be ready to answer questions from all kinds of shit. Many old traditions were more based on magical understandings of reality, so they shouldn't be ignored. Understanding the roots, powerful, absolutely. Mom always said a witch shouldn't only know what works, she know why it works and how it works and where it came from. And if you ain't that, you ain't a witch. You're probably a folk magician or something. Since we're living Since we are living now and not in ancient times, why do we seem to think it's more powerful to use old traditions? How best can we integrate new ideas? I've always talked about both. In general spell work, I see two really powerful forces: the momentum of belief and creative energy, so creativity. The older a spell is, the older a rite is. When we enact that spell that way, for that purpose, we've called forth the power of everyone that ever believed that, everyone that ever did that. The information coded in our DNA is that. Every person that ever did anything is in our DNA, and we're triggering those memories, those energies in our very DNA to bring up force and practice it. The older it is, the more power we're bringing forth by doing that. But then if we understand it well enough, we can add to it. We probably don't want to subtract from it, but we can add to that spell, that ritual, elaborate on it, and put some of our personal power in there. If we combine those two forces, come up with a very powerful magical technique. So there's room for both. Hi, Uncle Birch. Oh. Are there any Christians learning any of these techniques that you're talking about? Well, yeah, there's Tyrone's right here in the chat room. My favorite Christian. He calls himself that, but it's probably true.
Tyrone.
Absolutely. And, yeah. Tyrone is very different amongst my students. Can you talk about why some spells rhyme? Should our statements of intent rhyme if we can make them? Absolutely. The rhyme reaches a different level of our subconscious, and that's where the magic is. It's in our subconscious. It's also, we remember it better when it's rhymed. Absolutely, if you can do your statement of intent, rhyme it. There's rhyme and there's rhythm. I always say Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss has the correct formula of rhyme and rhythm for spell work. Just read some of that and try and duplicate, that rhythm, that lilt, and that rhyme. And then keep the statement of intent free of negatives. That's one people have lost over the years. So, no, not, neither, nor, none, no negatives. So in that old language of statements of intent, it is said that the subconscious part of the mind in which magic resides does not recognize negatives. So if you say a statement with a negative in it, the subconscious mind deletes the negative and just reads the rest of the statement. So let's see how that works for Wicca. An ye harm none, do what thou wilt. If that is true, then the subconscious magical mind deletes the word none. And ye harm, do what thou wilt. Now, Wiccans tend to throw this into their statement of intent. At the end of every statement of intent is a catch-all, to catch everything, in case they screwed something up, to make sure they don't accidentally do harm. But based on those old magical rules, and I see no reason to refute those rules, that shit works. They've been fucking themselves up and putting harm in every statement of intent since they started doing that. Sorry about that. That is what it is. Vedic and Sumerian cultures have a good stockpile of pre-Christian magic and ritual. Yes, and they, Sumerians knew everything about the damn solar system. We're just catching up. It turned out the Sumerians knew every planet in the solar system, every moon around every planet, and the configuration and makeup of all of those heavenly bodies. We're just starting to figure some of that shit out. The Sumerians said there was water on the moon. People said, oh, see, the Sumerians are all fucked up. No water on the moon. Guess what? India found water on the moon. China found water on the moon. There's water on the goddamn moon. Sumerians were right. They're right about every planet and every moon in our solar system. Moons that we just found out have a frozen ocean on top of them. The Sumerians said had a frozen fucking ocean on top of them. So discount the elders, Let's see. Yeah, that's a great question. When is Marta doing her blog again? Emerald City Mystic. It's been eating at her lately. I think she's gonna spit something out pretty soon.
Well, I forgot all the details about the last place we reviewed. I might have to go somewhere.
We might have to go to Taco Tuesday again.
Yeah.
Hi. Well, Tuesday is kind of a special day this week.
Well, not
so,
this
yeah, not this
Tuesday,
Tuesday.
but- Oh, so wait, what am I gonna do?
Soon. She'll be doing her blog soon. Just recorded a Widdershins theme song. I'm emailing it now. Ooh, cool. Hopefully, okay, hopefully it'll work.
Yeah, we need a theme song for
Yeah,
Widdershins.
we've been looking. Thank you, Sonny. We'll check it out. Need a theme song for Widdershins. It's got to be, kind of edgy. It's Widdershins. Got to fit, just even, kind of punk.
No hippie stuff.
Yeah, no hippie stuff. But hey, we'll check it out.
Look at what I would look like as a baby. How does it know?
I don't know.
Eat your greens.
So we're doing Ask Uncle Birch. We're answering random questions about magic and witchcraft. You've been great questions so far. I currently have 4 year-and-day courses going. There's still a little bit of time to sign up for the one that just started over at gumroad.com/witch school. WITCHSKEWL. But even more over there, I have entire year-and-a-day courses available for download. It's an older course. I think I teach different stuff in the current course, but still good shit. I even have an entire advanced class available for download. Spiritual warfare, the art of magical warfare from the Hex Fest lectures, a tarot course, Crush the Enemy. Yeah, I think Crush the Enemy is one of those. Yeah. Oh, well, it's definitely on there. Yeah. Yeah, Crush the Enemy. What is it? Witchcraft Without Wicca. I need to pick that one up again. I got in there and then I got off onto other classes, but there'll be more coming out on the Witchcraft Without Wicca series there too. But check it out. Gumroad.com/witch school. WITCHSKEWL. And if you're looking for the November 1st class, only sign up for the one that says November 1st. Or you'll be in the wrong class and miss half the stuff, and I'll have to figure out how to fix that. So, check those things out. There's still room in the November 1st class for another day or so. Let's see. Why did you choose school, SKEWL, over school? Well, because those people that borrowed my name, the Corellians, all the main people are named Corel, but we are not related. Well, they took which school? The common spelling. I mean, I maybe could have made it one word, but it still would have gotten confused with them. So I used the anarchist spelling of school. From the free school movement, they spelled it SKOOL and SKEWL in the free school movement amongst the anarchists. So I borrowed that from my anarchist roots, all because those pesky Corellians borrowing my name, and then they actually started their witch school before mine, so I guess, it was theirs to take, but the common spelling was already gone. There's probably other people out there using it too. They should be aware that the Corellians are the most known for using that, but yeah, that's why we did SKEWL, and I have to spell it out all the time for everybody. But it's been Googled enough times that if you type witch, SK, it starts to fill it in. What can I do or use to help me better meditate? Having a little trouble in that area. Bug views, like most things, are rather different on some of these things. I like to say don't make it too easy on yourself. You start meditating in a relaxing posture, in a relaxing place with some Zen music, some incense, that kind of thing. As soon as you get kind of good at that, then you need to go out into public, do it on a bus, do it at a baseball game, do it in a crowd. Your meditation muscles should be viewed as muscles. And the way you build muscles is you increase the resistance. So we need to increase the resistance on our practices. I'd say, until you master that, meditate at a time when it's easier to relax. Do your meditation, we're going to bed. It's okay to fall asleep while meditating. You're not going to mess up the process, but, try and meditate in the middle of the day, it's optimal if you can do that. Take a break from your day, do a meditation, that kind of thing. But a lot of people are so wrapped up in their day, it's really hard to reach that state. So I'd say first try it at a time when it's easier to relax. Nighttime, all your business is done, the kids are in bed, what have you, and maybe before you go to sleep.
I found a Russian restaurant in New Orleans.
Of course there's a Russian restaurant in New Orleans.
It has all the good stuff. Golubtsi. It has golubtsi.
Golubtsi?
Golubtsi.
I want to have some.
That's stuffed cabbage. It's golubtsi. Meat golubtsi.
I rent one of your courses on Gumroad. It can't play. What do I do now? Contact me, witchschool@gmail.com, WITCHSKEWL. I'll see what I can do about that. Now, if you stream a class, you got 72 hours. And I noticed that might have been you. I saw somebody bought 3 or 4 streaming classes within like the same hour. So unless they were going to like binge watch the hell out of that stuff, you don't have enough hours in the day to do that. That's why the streaming is cheaper. For a few bucks more, you own the thing, you download it, you watch it 1 billion times, whatever you want. The other ones are downloadable, but if you're trying to save a few bucks by streaming, you've got to make sure you've got the time to watch it right away, or don't click on the next class. So if you expired the 72 hours, send me an email, we'll figure it out, I'll give you a coupon or something. There's usually a way to work around that kind of stuff. But Gumroad's an automated system, so I kind of have to tweak some things to get around it when stuff goes wrong. That's Laura Elizabeth mentions, getting yourself into theta. That's an excellent way to help meditation. You'll find them out here on YouTube. Theta meditation and alpha meditation. Both theta and alpha are really helpful.
Theta helps you with reprogramming.
Yeah, theta helps you with reprogramming. The basics of which, for all of these things, whether they're just audio files or out here on YouTube, you need to have some headphones. You need to have the right headphone in the right ear, the left headphone in the left ear, and they tend to work with brainwave tones. And the way these work, the theory of harmonic resonance, if you expose a body to a vibration and that body has the ability to vibrate at that vibration, it will vibrate at that vibration. If it cannot, it will choose a subharmonic of that vibration and try to match it as close as it can. So theta, alpha, all of these things are brainwave states of mind. And if we expose ourselves to the frequency of that state of mind for long enough, it's really like 20 minutes or something like that in a meditative process, our brain has to shift. If it can vibrate at that frequency, it must. You cannot change the laws of physics. It will. So even just the brainwave generator, which is still a free piece of software out there, excellent for this kind of thing. And you can do a whole lot more with a thing like that. Now I'm going to have to walk away for a second. Emerald City, I just Googled Picatrix, just starting to grok what that's about. It seems like, another one of those old grimoires, and people talking like to talk about grimoires. But I'm going to leave you to look at the fountain for a minute, because I got a fresh drink.
the word like Dolce, Kapusta, Kapusa, like it's all Yevia, it's all Russian. We're gonna go.
So you got to be able to like speak Russian to order food there?
No, but
Jesus.
you'll never be able to pronounce it. Okay.
Well, yeah.
It's in English, but here.
Well,
You tell me how you would pronounce this. Hold on.
hello, cat.
Yeah, like how are you gonna pronounce this? Me.
Golubsi,
Golubtsi. That's how you pronounce it.
Erogi,
Pirigi.
Pirigi.
Yeah.
All right.
Golubtsi, pirigi. Idea. You like it when I speak.
Yeah.
I think it's sexy.
We'd like to thank the people at Freedom Lampworks over at Etsy for our fabulous pipe. They noticed on our videos that we needed a new pipe and sent us a new pipe. Mugwort for psychic development. How do you know when it's Mugwort's definitely good for psychic development. I guess how you know it starts working when you start having, psychic stuff happen. There is a friend of ours, the Hollywood Witch. She's a psychic. I don't know about this, but I wonder about this. She recommends not using fluoride toothpaste to boost your psychic powers.
No.
I don't know.
Non-fluoride toothpaste is why Sasha has a mouthful of soap.
I know. But so I've heard that. I'm wondering if there's some sort of, somebody says it affects your psychic powers. I'm not even sure about that, but I've heard that. But I know of mugwort. Mugwort. If there's tea, you can smoke it, you can burn it. Great stuff. Let's see. If each planet has a god associated with it, is there any spirits or higher beings associated with the stars? Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. And a huge amount of ancient cultures from which the majority of ones we derive our magical ideas from are all fixated on the middle star of Orion's belt. Even, the Dogon tribe, the Egyptians, you name it. And okay, so the Dogon tribe, nobody could figure out what the hell they were worshiping, what their religion was about, until science developed the ability to track the movements of stars that cannot be seen by the human eye based on the interaction of other bodies that we can see. Like a wobble on a star can tell us how many planets it has around it, roughly how big the planets are. Other types of wobbles can show interactions of other stars around it. So finally, they come to track this star called Sirius B, which vibrates at a frequency of light that cannot be seen by the human eye. And it turns out that the Dogon tribe has an entire religion based on the movements of that star. The Egyptians point to that place in the heavens as the origins of the human race. The Sumerians said roughly the same thing. And we have 4 cardinal stars around the planet associated with the Grigori or the Watchers. Several stars associated with other things. They thought Venus was a star when they named it after Lucifer, or named Lucifer it, or whatever. But then it turned out not to be a star. It turned out to be a planet. But yeah, there's plenty of magical systems about stars, plenty of spirits associated with stars. But just that one, the middle area of Orion's belt, either Sirius B or the middle star in Sirius, a significant point in the heavens that many ancient cultures seem to be focused on, fixated on. I've seen the film Golem. I think it's on Netflix or Hulu. Good lesson when a servitor turns on you. I mean, yeah, basically, a golem was a servitor with the body, Hebraic thing, Hebraic magic thing, but basically a servitor. Yeah, they can turn on you. Eat more coffee. All right.
Oh my God. Okay, hold on. So this Russian restaurant, the staff used to cook at Luke's place, Siberia.
Oh wow.
And then Siberia, he sold Siberia, and then so now they opened their own restaurant.
Wow.
Yeah, when I spoke to the
Small
chef.
world.
Yeah.
All right, so we're doing Ask Uncle Birch. 67 minutes. All right, we'll do a couple more. That one's pretty long. But I have been having a good time. I've been having a good time. Getting ready to actually launch the first classes for the November 1st class. So if you wanted to get into it, you better get into it quickly. Get over there to gumroad.com/witchschool. WITCHSKEWL. I got all kinds of things over there that you might want to have and learn. But like our friend learned here, if you're gonna try and save a few bucks by choosing the streaming option, choose one at a time, because I think it's 72 hours. I think you have 72 hours of internet. You might have to let that thing buffer for a while. So hopefully your internet's not so bad it's going to take 72 hours. Let's see, what do we got? Yes. All right, wait and see if we have a question or two. If not, there's other things to do. Oh my God, it's 2:47. It seems so late. Daylight savings thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Luke's former employees that cook, I guess, serve Russian food at his place, Siberia.
Wow.
That's why
A name like that.
That's why he likes me so much.
Yeah.
Russian. But, yeah, I bet he's heard I've been there. Sashi.
All right, well, I haven't seen one in a few. I have a house I would love to purchase, but it's way out of my price range right now. Any tips on how I should get it? A lot of people are going to say do a money magic for that, but no, I'm going to say do a housing magic for that. You can do the Lodestone trick. I have a thing on this page, spell to get a home, spell to get a house, something like that. The Lodestone trick, a lodestone with 3 drops of your blood on it. Typically it's buried near the front door of the house you want. We leave it at that. We might, do a statement of intent. We're going to want to speak to the Lodestone, tell it what we want. It's like, I want this house. Figure out how to get me this house. And it may be that a money spell needed to happen. That's the way the spell will go. If something else needs to happen, like, somebody needs to get soured on the house, other people's deals need to fall through. Hey, it's a dog-eat-dog world out there. Don't feel bad about that. You do the spell. You let the spell figure out how it's going to manifest the spell. We want to be really specific with our statement of intent in what we want to occur. Not too specific as to how that will occur. We want to say, free of harm to anybody. That's better than harm none, right? Free of harm. There's no negatives, right? We may want to do that because we're still kind of Wiccan or something like that. But dictating to the universe how to achieve that is not the thing that we want in the spell. She has her own mysterious ways, and sometimes we need to step out of the way of her ways and let her figure out her way to achieve that. So the goal is the house. So we work on the house, hoping that the spell fills any other things that need to be filled to achieve that house. The spell is going to take whatever turns it needs to take to manifest that thing, because the thing was the house. She will figure it out. Let's see. I got iTunes opening up and all this crap. I hate you, iTunes. Oh man, I better get out of there. You're gonna get my music library in a second. About to sync. Sync it. All right, so that was a good question. Let's see if I missed anything. Thanks, Uncle Birch. You're welcome, Joshua. Mentioned more than once. Uncle Birch, you've mentioned more than once the difference of opinion and perspective from Mr. Foxwood, Lodestone magic, and other magical information. Can you please elaborate? Maybe Foxwood mentioned it, but actually the real headbutting came from his owner, his handler, Susan Diamond. She got really been out of shape when I said that. A lodestone has no polarity. Okay, a lodestone was used for the original compass, and the reason why they used it for the original compass, because it was attracted by magnetism, but it had no polarity. There is no, you cannot take two lodestones and put them together in any configuration where when you release them, they will push each other apart. Now with a magnet, you can do that. And some magnets will shoot the other magnet across the damn table. Because I have seen, now, so we got Foxwood, whatever he has to say, but really, Foxwood's Susan Diamond's bitch. So whatever Susan Diamond says is really what he's going to follow. And Susan Diamond did this whole elaborate video trying to show lodestones pushing away from each other, and it just didn't happen. The most that happened was some of the shavings fell over one time or something like that, and she just, I don't know, man. I don't know. It's like America right now. We'd be looking at the same thing and see totally different things. So she believed that she was seeing some sort of force push the lodestones away from each other. I watched the video. I did not see that. I've played with that many a time. I do not see that. That's why we use lodestones in magic. How many times have you seen a magnet come up in magic? Not that often, because magnets require alignment. We must align their polarities correctly, or we're going to be pushing when we're supposed to be pulling. Or we're going to be, throwing back when we're supposed to be sending. You don't typically see magnets come up in magic. That's why, because a lodestone draws. That's all a lodestone does. Now, he comes from the South or something. I don't know what the school system's like over where he grew up. Maybe thought it was a magnet, but it's not. It's like a magnet, but it's not. Obvious polarity. We've all kids, we've played with this kind of thing. We cannot have that happen. I can see a lodestone pull iron, I cannot take another lodestone and put it and turn it in any way where if I let it go, this lodestone will push this lodestone off of it to where they are not in contact anymore. And that's what a magnet will do when you reverse the polarities. I don't know. Everybody seemed to know this when I was a kid. Everybody seemed to know this growing up. Some people that can't read books come up with some other ideas that just, they don't make sense. Doesn't make sense. Go ahead. You got some lodestones, play with them. Show me them shooting across the table. It's not going to happen. So yes, I disagree with Mr. Foxwood on probably a lot of things. I got Twitter up in my feed. Let's see. Do I personally end my statement of intent with free of harm? No, not all of them. Because, you know, I will do baneful magic when necessary, so I don't necessarily put that in there. I think that's more of like a catch-all that Wiccans like to have, their harm none thing, so I'm trying to give them something to use in place of that has no negatives. No, sometimes, most times, you getting yours is to the detriment of someone else. Dog eat dog world. Yeah, and you know, I hope no harm on people, but it might have to happen. Hopefully, you know, won't be the wrong people. I'm not going out of my way trying to hurt anybody, but that's not my main focus. It's not a catch-all. You know, sometimes I will put things like that in there, fine, that kind of thing, but no, not always. That was more kind of a thing that I was offering to the Wiccans that now see the folly of doing a statement of intent with negatives in it. Do lodestones pull with equal distribution? No, you can see when you have a lodestone, usually you got a bunch of iron attached to it. Most lodestones have a place where more iron attaches to it than others. So that would indicate to me that there are stronger points on every lodestone. And the way to see those points, like where does the iron go? Where does more of it collect? That's your strong point of your lodestone. Well, if I do say that, then my wife's going to say, yeah, B. Can you talk about the uses of pokeweed? See? I don't really, I don't know, I don't. Do I sell pokeweed? I don't even think it's so.
I've heard of it. I can tell you exactly what it is.
There's pokeroot and there's pokeweed.
Okay,
Could be the same thing, but I don't really know. That is not a plant that I've worked with. I try to, you know, I sell a lot of stuff, so I do study a lot of herbs. I try to keep it down to a base several I can grow rather than buying them. You know, there's some stuff I do have to buy out there. Abre Camino is just not going to work here, I guess. I'm going to try next to try and grow it from seed.
Is it pretty much done?
I think that's.
We gotta throw it away.
I think it's about done. Yeah, I'm gonna try and grow it from seed next and see if that works. But you know, it's not really where it's supposed to grow. Okay, let's see if I have one last question. Talk about protecting your castle, doing protective magic for people who live in your house with you. How far do you take? Do you perform protection magic for your brothers and sisters' best friend? Can you talk about the magical use for Pokeweed Magical. Wow. Okay, wait. Oh, wow. See, you guys. Okay. Those are two different people with the same, like, icon. Okay, I'm going back to Kevin over here. Yeah, for your brother's sister's best friend, I mean, that's going to be somebody that's coming over to your house often. You know, I'd want to be cleansing that person. You know, way back, they started launching diseased bodies over castle walls to spread disease inside the castle. The castle had great walls, couldn't beat them down. If you fire over a body, riddled with plague or something like that, then plague's going to take over the city. The original germ warfare. If somebody infected comes into your castle, they're going to infect everybody in the castle. So some sort of cleansing, or even like I might like set up a shield at the door that cleanses people as they come through, like a mist. Yeah, maybe mist them as they come through.
Josh is with Louise in New Orleans.
Really?
Josh, yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
All right.
Jealous.
I think that was our last question. Yeah, 83 minutes. I think we did it. I brew my own oils. How do you feel then about freezing to keep? I don't know if they will freeze, and if they do, the bottles will probably break. That's my thoughts on that, I guess. Thank you for joining us. You can check us out on Widdershins and our morning show. It's rebroadcast here. You can check it out live at Spreaker.com /users/Widdershins. Check out everything going on at gumroad.com/witchschool. WITCHSKUWL. And we will see you all another time. Blessings. My Twitter name is Mike Carell 4.